Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us at the Social Equity Summit and Social Justice Summit and Job Fair. Today we're here at Delta 9 with Javier Montez, and we're going to be speaking about cannabis, social equity, what is cannabis in social, what is equity in cannabis, and have a little conversation with an actual shop owner and someone that's been in the game and is now here building his dreams. Please, Javier, go ahead and introduce yourself and your shop here.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Javier Montez. I'm the owner, operator, and managing partner here at Delta 9 THC, licensed in the city of Wilmington, Council District 15. I first started Delta 9 THC with my partner in Torrance back in 2006. In that time, there was a heavy federal presence, and it was very a learning experience, but very nerve-wracking. You had to look out your window almost every 30 minutes. At that time, it felt like there was a lot of federal activity. There wasn't a lot of promotions or sites where you could register your business. So as you can imagine, business really wasn't running through the doors like people think that it would have been back then. Even now, it's like we still have an industry that is growing, that's maturing, that at some point we might see that traffic. But for the most part, it's still an industry that continues to grow and has a lot more to grow to.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. One thing I forgot to mention is also Javier is part of United Cannabis Business Association, UCBA, and as a vice president, and as really a leader in this industry, and that's how we first connected. And to see someone that truly is black and brown, that has struggled in the industry for the past few decades, or a decade or so, I should say, has now been given that opportunity to do it legal is great. But that hasn't come with any scars or battle scars, much work. So why don't you maybe start from how you became a social equity applicant and how that initial process was for you, and then we can go into what maybe how it should have been. But first, how was that for you?
When I started, there wasn't a social equity program. It was literally, bootstrapped the entire way with my mentor. We both believed in one another. We both took every saving, every dollar that we had, and slowly built out one cabinet, two cabinets, three cabinets, as the money would allow. We never took a salary. I had to work two jobs. It wasn't, funding available like there is today, with social equity programs that exist, that create a pathway to go from unlicensed to licensed now. These options weren't available to us back then. In that time, like I said, it was working two jobs. It was coming in part-time. He would open, I would close. And it took 2 years before I could finally pull myself out of my corporate job and come into my own store and build the business. And in that, being at my business allowed me to recognize what products we needed to have, what kind of customer base I was getting, operate a little more still with that paranoia of a federal presence coming through the doors, but at the same time acting in a responsible manner to where I didn't feel like I was much of a threat to anybody, because we weren't allowing any consumption on site, we weren't allowing anything to happen in the parking lot. I mean, we were very vigilant back then and had a lot of security protocols, including a 24-hour security, which I still implement here at my location from the very beginning. And so there wasn't really a social equity program. It was somebody believing in me and me believing in him, and he having a condition that I cared so much about him that pulled me into this industry, and I got to see the medical benefits, and then the people that I met along the way really made everything change for me, because I seen people coming in not being able to walk, to walking, to thanking me, for being here. That meant everything to me. So it wasn't, we're doing such a good business. It's what we're doing for that community and for those people that I got a chance to meet and get to know, and whose lives bettered because we were there.
Thank you. That you hit some great points there, and beginning with just the fundamentals that this is a medicine. This is something that people have been locked up for and been imprisoned or worse, and now there's an opportunity and that pathway for individuals. Unfortunately, wasn't always there. You kind of like the real deal, as I say. You had to do it yourself before the program. But as we look at social equity, you touched on a broader vision of that, right? Even as you talk about medicinal and supporting people that need access, that's equity in itself. So why don't you help define what you believe, or for you or UCBA or your work, is social equity in cannabis? What does that look like? What is that?
So from my perspective, the heart has to be there. You have to care, first of all, of your community and the people that you interact with. It has to be in you. It's difficult to try to teach or to try to message that part across. It has to be you, right? Social equity is so important because so many people, like you mentioned, went to jail for having a joint in their pocket. It was my biggest paranoia back then, was getting caught up or going to jail, and I don't know where I would be today if that happened. It's such a life-changing experience for some people. My dad went to jail for cannabis, and that also impacted my life. But I was able to, again, have the mentorship and the coaching from somebody that caught me early on, who helped me, become who I am today. And so for me, having an opportunity to help others, especially in cannabis, that look like me, that are social equity, is a priority, but there's also barriers around that. And I say that in that, a lot of the times the cannabis industry that's here right now isn't looked at as being available to coach or to mentor, new businesses. And that for me is something that I'm trying to wrap my head around, because if you're building a team and you're a new business, you would want the people that are in the business to help coach and to help mentor you through your business. A lot of the work that you do, Luis, is very important because you try to educate and help people. You can give somebody all the funding, but unless you teach them the fundamentals of running a business, that money is going to go. It's going to happen unless you have the coaching, unless you have that team. Every championship fighter has a team in his corner, and that team is a team that's experienced. If you're the champ, you have a very tight corner. You don't have somebody that just got out of medical school, and because it says he's got a cut, they're going to come and just staple you in the middle of a fight. Like, that don't make sense. But if you have an experienced corner, you're going to pick up. And when I say this, it's to paint a picture, because our business changes almost every other quarter or day with regulation or something new that comes in. But more importantly, it's a business, and so you have to know how to order product. You have to know what to order. You have to know what's good product, what's bad product. You have to be careful that you don't over order. There's just so many pieces, and I'll just use that one as one, but there's so many more that can either help grow your business or help destroy your business, or not put any money back in your pocket. If you think that we're doing social equity right, we have to keep all these things in mind, and also the work that we do at UCBA that I think is very important, because it comes from a position of already operating, of being an operation. It's the foundation of the industry, is the acknowledging that we are the highest taxed industry as a retail business in the state of California and maybe across the country. And when you put that into perspective, your social equity applicants that are coming in and we're rewarding to be entrepreneurs, to be in a better place, are we setting them up on a foundation where they're going to be successful? And I see that every day, and I get very loud when it comes to building that foundation for somebody that looks like me, for somebody that's going to come into this business. Given that I had that opportunity, with my mentor, I'm all about it.
Yeah. No, it's not only the highest taxed industry, it's one of the highest regulated industry. I hear it's even more regulated than plutonium or something. So, it is difficult as not only, whether you look at it from the social equity angle or just as a business industry coming online, it is so difficult to keep up, as you said, and especially trying to do it yourself. So I really commend the work that UCBA has done and then continues to do to support not only operators in the day-to-day work, but really on the policy level, the programmatic level, So on some of those resources and better understanding maybe the programs, the types of support that either exist or are needed, can you talk a little more about that?
Sure, I know that Los Angeles is crafting, workshops, and people like you are actually on the forefront of education. These are going to be very important moving forward. And it's having those professionals around you that can come and educate or coach and walk through an entire workshop of, again, the fundamentals of retail business, but in cannabis. Because it is a business. And right now it's a social equity business coming on board, but when you have your business license, you are a business now. You are part of all of us, and we will embrace you and we will be alongside you if we're allowed to help or coach. And this is why it's so important that we have leaders like you, Luis, that can bring us into these opportunities or workshops where we can answer questions, where we can coach on how to purchase, on what we're purchasing, because there is going to be overproduction coming on board at some point. You're going to have a lot of product that's just going to be pushed on you that either makes sense, overpriced, or is going to sit on your shelf if it's not really thought out. And then that's going to hurt your number, and it's going to hurt the success of that person that's coming in as a new business owner. But I think that these are really basic fundamentals in most businesses, but because we're talking about cannabis, we're talking about high taxes, we're talking about a federal 280E, where you can't write off your business. There is that much more attention that you have to keep on your business in order to be successful.
That's great. So one of the things I like about Javier is, like I said, he's the real deal. And he's never going to water it down. I think we all have these illusions, and anybody that's truly in the cannabis industry understands the money's not there. The glitz, the glamour, it may be one day, but it is not now. It's a very difficult road, expensive road. So can you give us some advice or give the audience maybe a little bit of that experience you had, but an advice? Golden nugget there.
No, and this is very important. This is a long-term game. This is a long-term play for anybody getting into cannabis. You're going to create your brand. A lot of love and passion is going to go into that. You don't want to see it go away so soon. And I advise that you don't let it go away so soon. Everything that you work hard for to get to this point shouldn't just be a check and you're on your way. Stick it out. When I say it's a long-term play, there's going to be federal policy that could be introduced soon. It's going to allow us banking. It's going to allow us a lot more space for us to grow and to live our dream, right? The reason why I feel social equity applicants are also applying is because they have a dream. They have a dream to better their lives. And we're going to be here to empower and make sure that that happens. But this isn't a short-term goal. In the 14 years that I've been in this industry, I still have the same car, the same clothes. It's not this lavish lifestyle that I've now taken on. It's been a slow growth progress, but I've enjoyed the entire way through because I've met people like you, Luis, because I've met people like our executive board at UCBA, because we're all passionate about the same thing, and the actions have shown that we're about it, man. We are going to step up for everybody coming on board in the entire industry as we have, and you can go back year to year and look at a lot of the stuff that we've been front and center on in Sacramento and in Los Angeles, lobbying and working hard towards, and it's all going to come back to this, a strong foundation for all of our future.
Amen to that. I thank you once again. I thank UCBA for the leadership and for the connection, and people don't know it is voluntary to do this work out here. No one pays them to go out above and beyond to do good for not only the equity community but for the cannabis industry itself. So I truly see you as a leader, a mentor. I thank you for your time always and being open to giving some words. To the audience out there, I would say please support our minority equity owners and retailers. We're here at Delta 9, THC in Wilmington, so we definitely want to come back, maybe give you a preview someday, but come out here and support.
And also, what I want to say is I look forward to working with Social Equity LA, with you, Luis, on workshops, on being a coach to a lot of these people. once we put this together, I think we work on something, put it together, and make ourselves available. So that way there's more than just one program where people can come and learn, and they have, they have different, right? You have different gyms where you can go and train. Well, you can come now and be a part and train with us, and we're going to bring, the best coaches to everybody that comes, and that's a future that I'm looking forward to, because it's something that I really want to do. It's something that I'm passionate about. Anytime anybody's called and said, hey, will you help me with something, will you come be a part of something that helps other people, I'm the first to sign up for it. Regardless of what goes down, I'm the first to step up.
Well, thank you very much, and appreciate it, and look forward to working with you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.